Hello everyone, hope you all doing well. Can changing just your breakfast really make you lose weight automatically? P. Have you ever wondered if changing just your breakfast could actually help you lose weight almost automatically without counting calories or spending hours in the gym? It sounds too simple, right? But here's the truth. Sometimes it's not about doing more, it's about doing the right thing at the right time. Now, I want to focus especially on men who are over 50 because this is the group that often gets frustrated. You might be eating healthy, you might be walking every day, maybe even cutting out sugar, and yet that belly just doesn't want to leave. You wake up feeling tired, you're not as sharp mentally, and even your motivation starts dropping. So let's talk about what's really going on here and why your breakfast could be the single most important thing to fix. You see, after the age of 50, there's a natural drop in certain hormones, particularly growth hormone and testosterone. These are not just muscle hormones, they're fat-burning hormones. When they go down, your metabolism slows, your recovery time increases, and your body becomes more resistant to losing fat, especially around the belly area. But here's the key insight. You can't force your body to burn fat by exercising harder. You have to trigger it. And that trigger starts early in the morning with what you eat, or more accurately, with what you don't eat. The mistake most people make is starting their day with a high-carb breakfast, cereal, toast, fruit juice, or even oatmeal. These foods spike your insulin. And insulin, as I always say, is the fat-storing hormone. When insulin goes up, your body can't burn fat, period. It doesn't matter if you eat clean later in the day or go for a jog. If you start your morning with a big insulin spike, you've already told your body, store fat, don't burn it. That's why many men notice that their weight just stays stuck no matter what they do. Because their metabolism never gets the chance to shift into fat burning mode. It's being shut off every single morning at breakfast. So what would happen if, instead of feeding your body carbs first thing in the morning, you gave it a break? If you allowed insulin to stay low and let your body tap into stored fat for fuel, that's when something incredible happens. Your energy starts to rise naturally. Your mind feels clearer. You're not chasing snacks mid-morning. And without even trying, you begin to burn fat throughout the day because you're running on your own fuel source, not the sugar roller coaster. Now, I'm not saying everyone should skip breakfast entirely. That depends on your body and your schedule. But the principle is this: the first thing you put in your body sets the tone for your entire metabolic day. If you eat a carb-heavy breakfast, you're training your body to depend on glucose for energy. But if you choose a low-carb, high-fat, moderate-protein meal, or even wait a few hours before eating, you're training your body to run on fat instead. And that switch, from sugar burning to fat burning, is what makes weight loss feel almost automatic. You're not fighting cravings or starving yourself. You're simply working with your biology, not against it. So, in this series, I'm going to break down exactly how you can make that breakfast change, what to eat, what to avoid, and how to time it correctly, especially if you're a man over 50 dealing with a slower metabolism, stubborn belly fat, or low energy. But first, let's understand why timing matters more than calories, and how your morning habits can either switch on or completely block your fat-burning system. Alright, so now that you understand how your breakfast sets the tone for your entire metabolism, let's go a little deeper into timing. Most people think weight loss is only about what you eat, but if you're over 50, when you eat becomes just as important, if not more. That's because as you age, your cells become less sensitive to insulin. It's called insulin resistance, and it's the main reason many men gain weight even when they don't eat that much. Think of insulin like a key that unlocks the door to your cells so that sugar can go inside and be used for energy. But when you've had years of eating too frequently, breakfast, snacks, lunch, snacks, dinner, and maybe something sweet before bed, your body's cells stop responding properly to that key. So your body produces more and more insulin trying to get the job done. And what happens then? Your insulin stays high all day long, and as I mentioned earlier, when insulin is high, your body cannot burn fat. It's like trying to drive a car with the parking brake on. You can push the pedal harder, but you won't move efficiently. This is where timing comes in. One of the most powerful tools you can use, especially after 50, is delaying breakfast. Not skipping it completely at first, just delaying it. Maybe you usually eat at 7 a.m., try pushing it to 9 a.m. for a week, then to 10 a.m. The idea is to give your body a longer fasting window overnight, time when insulin can drop low enough for fat burning to begin. You might be surprised that just shifting your first meal a few hours later can trigger noticeable changes: reduced bloating, more energy in the morning, and even better focus. Because during that fasting window, your body isn't digesting food, it's cleaning house, it's burning stored fuel, breaking down damaged proteins, and improving insulin sensitivity. Now, P, let's talk about what not to do when you start adjusting your breakfast time. Don't fill that gap with coffee full of sugar or milk. That still spikes insulin. Black coffee or tea, no problem. Water with a bit of sea salt or lemon, excellent. But the moment you add sugar or even sweet creamers, you've broken the fast. And here's something interesting: once your body adjusts to fasting, it will start burning fat more efficiently even when you're resting. You'll wake up with steady energy, not that heavy, sluggish feeling that makes you want another cup of coffee right away. P, I've seen countless men experience this transformation. Their belly starts to shrink, not because they're starving themselves, but because their body finally remembers how to burn fat again. Now, if you combine this simple timing change with the right type of breakfast, one that's high in nutrients but low in carbs, you'll take your fat burning to the next level. You'll also help your liver function better, balance your blood sugar, and reduce that mid-afternoon energy crash that so many people over 50 struggle with. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about patterns. If you can create a pattern where your body spends more time in a low insulin state, it will start doing the work for you. You won't need willpower. You won't need to count every calorie because your metabolism will shift from storage mode to burn mode. So, in the next part, I'll show you exactly what to eat once it's time for your first meal, the foods that support fat burning, steady energy, and hormone balance for men over 50. Now that we've covered why timing matters and how simply delaying breakfast can make a huge difference, P, let's move on to the next step: what to actually eat once it's time for your first meal of the day. Because here's the thing, P, if you delay breakfast but still eat the same high-carb foods when you finally eat, you'll undo all the benefits of fasting. It's like taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. So let's fix that. When you finally do break your fast, your body is extremely sensitive to whatever you put in. That's why this meal is the most powerful opportunity of the day to reset your metabolism. If you give it sugar or refined carbs, insulin spikes again and your fat burning shuts off. But if you give it healthy fats, good protein, and real nutrients, your insulin stays low and your body continues to burn fat for energy. So what does that look like in real food? For a fat-burning, metabolism-friendly breakfast, you want to think low-carb, moderate protein, high healthy fat. That might look like 2 or 3 eggs cooked in butter or olive oil, half an avocado on the side, maybe some spinach or kale lightly sauteed, a handful of nuts. If you're still hungry, if you prefer a smoothie, keep it simple and low carb. Use unsweetened almond milk, a scoop of clean protein powder, a tablespoon of flax or chia seeds, and maybe a few frozen berries. Avoid bananas, mangoes, pea, or any fruit juices. They might look healthy, but they'll spike your insulin like candy. Now, I know some people say, pea, but I've been told breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And yes, it is important, but only if it's done right. The goal is not to skip nutrition. P, the goal is to stop the blood sugar roller coaster that keeps you from burning fat. When you eat this kind of breakfast, something powerful happens. Your energy doesn't crash after a few hours. P, you don't get that sudden craving for something sweet at 11 a.m. Your brain stays sharp and you actually feel calm and focused, not wired and jittery. And here's why this matters so much for men over 50. At this stage of life, your body is more sensitive to blood sugar fluctuations. When your blood sugar goes up and down all day, P, it stresses your adrenal glands in your liver. That creates fatigue, irritability, and that stubborn belly fat that just won't go away no matter what you do. By controlling insulin through your breakfast, you're not just helping your weight, you're helping your whole hormonal system rebalance. That includes energy, mood, and even sleep quality. Now, one more thing that often surprises people: skipping carbs at breakfast doesn't mean cutting them out completely. It just means saving them for later in the day, when your body is more active and better able to handle them. For example, if you enjoy sweet potatoes or quinoa, have them with your lunch or dinner, P, not in the morning. This single shift, delaying breakfast and keeping it low carb when you eat, can be enough to start burning fat even without changing the rest of your meals yet. P, you'll notice your appetite naturally decreases. You'll stop snacking as much, and over time your clothes start to fit better, not because you're trying harder, but because your body is finally working with you, not against you. Now, in the next part, I'll explain how to support this new fat-burning pattern with lifestyle habits. Things like sleep, stress, P, and movement. Because your breakfast is only one piece of the puzzle. How you live the rest of your day determines whether your metabolism stays switched on or shuts back down. So far, P, you've learned how powerful just changing your breakfast and your breakfast timing can be for weight loss. But there's another part of the equation that many people overlook, P, your daily lifestyle habits. Because even if you're eating perfectly, if your sleep is poor, your stress levels are high, and your body isn't moving enough, P. Your metabolism won't fully switch into fat-burning mode. Let's start with sleep. If you're a man over 50, chances are your sleep isn't as deep or consistent as it used to be. P. Maybe you wake up a few times during the night, or you feel tired even after 7 or 8 hours in bed. Here's why that's a big deal. When you don't sleep well, your body releases more cortisol, P, the stress hormone, and cortisol raises insulin. That means your fat burning shuts off, especially around your belly. So one of the best fat loss habits you can develop has nothing to do with food. It's improving your sleep. Try to go to bed around the same time every night and avoid eating 2 to 3 hours before bed. When your body isn't digesting while you sleep, it focuses on recovery and hormone balance. Keep your room dark, cool, and quiet. Avoid screens at least 30 minutes before bedtime. Even small changes like these can dramatically improve your fat burning potential. Now let's talk about stress. Chronic stress can keep you in fat storage mode all day long. When you're constantly under pressure from work, family, or finances, your body thinks it's in survival mode. P. It doesn't care about burning fat. It just wants to protect you. That's why many men over 50 gain weight even when they're eating less. Their cortisol stays elevated and insulin follows. Here's what helps daily relaxation time. I don't mean hours of meditation. Even 10 to 15 minutes of quiet breathing, walking outdoors, or just disconnecting from devices can make a real difference. When you bring cortisol down, insulin follows, and your body starts burning fat again. Next is movement. P. Notice I didn't say exercise. You don't need extreme workouts or long hours in the gym to lose weight. In fact, overtraining can backfire by raising cortisol even more. What you really need is consistent movement, walking, stretching, gardening, doing things that keep your body active throughout the day. A good rule is move lightly and often. Aim for a 20-30 minute walk after meals if possible. That's one of the simplest ways to lower blood sugar and help your body stay in fat burning mode. And if you want to do some resistance training, great. Focus on short, high-quality sessions that build muscle strength without exhaustion. Muscle helps you burn more fat at rest, which is exactly what you want as you age. Finally, there's hydration. A lot of men mistake thirst for hunger, especially when they first start intermittent fasting or cut carbs. Keep water near you all day. Add a pinch of sea salt or electrolyte powder if you're sweating or drinking a lot of coffee. Proper hydration keeps your metabolism efficient and supports digestion, energy, and joint health. Now here's how all this connects back to your breakfast. When you combine a delayed low-carb, high-fat breakfast with better sleep, lower stress, and regular movement, your body starts to reprogram itself. You're lowering insulin naturally throughout the entire day, not just in the morning. And when insulin stays low, your body starts tapping into stored fat automatically. You're not forcing it, you're allowing it. Most men who make these simple changes start noticing results in just a few weeks, more steady energy, less bloating, sharper focus, and that slow but steady reduction in belly fat that used to feel impossible. But there's one more piece of the puzzle I want to talk about, and that's how to stay consistent and make this new routine effortless over time. Because anyone can do something for a few days, but the real success happens when it becomes part of your lifestyle, how to keep this new pattern working for you long term without feeling deprived or restricted. Because the truth is, anyone can follow a plan for a few days or even a few weeks, but the real transformation happens when these habits become part of your routine, when you no longer have to think about weight loss, because your body naturally stays in balance. Here's where most people slip up. They expect instant results. They'll change their breakfast for 3 days, and if the scale doesn't move, they think it's not working. But your metabolism isn't like a light switch. It's more like a thermostat. It takes time to adjust. Your body has to relearn how to burn fat again after years of being stuck in sugar-burning mode. So I want you to think long-term. Don't treat this as a diet. Treat it as a metabolic reset. The small, consistent steps you're taking, delaying breakfast, keeping insulin low, moving daily, sleeping better, all add up. And every single day that you do this, your body gets a little more efficient at burning fat. Now, here's how to stay consistent without feeling restricted. First, give yourself flexibility. You don't need to be perfect 7 days a week. If you stay on track 5 or 6 days and have one day where you enjoy a meal with friends or family, that's fine. It's what you do most of the time that matters, not the occasional exception. Second, focus on how you feel, not just what you weigh. When your body starts burning fat, you'll notice changes that don't show up on the scale right away, like more stable energy, clearer thinking, and better mood. Those are signs that your metabolism is healing. Celebrate those wins because they mean your body is responding. Third, listen to your hunger. Once your insulin starts dropping and your body adapts to fat as fuel, you'll notice that you're not hungry as often. You might skip breakfast naturally some days without trying. That's a good thing. It means your body is using stored energy efficiently. Don't force yourself to eat when you're not hungry. Let your hunger guide your timing. Fourth, keep your mornings calm and consistent. Avoid rushing out the door with stress and caffeine overload. Take a few minutes for quiet. Maybe stretch, breathe deeply, or take a short walk before eating. This lowers cortisol and keeps insulin stable. Remember, calm mornings lead to better fat burning days. And finally, keep learning. Once you start seeing results, you'll want to go deeper. Maybe fine-tune your nutrient balance, explore fasting patterns, or learn how to improve liver function and hormone balance. The more you understand your body, the easier it becomes to stay in control of your health. Here's the big picture. You don't have to starve yourself, count calories, or spend hours in the gym. All you need is to create the right environment for your body to burn fat. And that starts with one simple change: your breakfast. When you delay it, keep it low carb, and combine it with healthy daily habits, your body begins to work for you automatically. That's why so many men over 50 find that the stubborn weight finally starts to move, not because they're working harder, but because they're working smarter. So, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this: your metabolism isn't broken. It's just waiting for you to give it the right signal. And that signal begins every morning with your first meal or your decision to wait for it. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who's been struggling to lose weight despite doing everything right. Sometimes it's not about doing more. It's about doing the right thing first thing in the morning. And remember, take care of your health and your body will take care of you.